Hey there, soulmates. It's your girl, Dr. Melissa, back with another game-changing episode of Standing on Business, where it's not just business, it's personal. Today, we're tackling a question that is crucial for every purpose-driven entrepreneur, and that is how to identify your niche or niche, potato, however you say it. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Niche? Isn't that just a fancy way of limiting myself? I want to help everybody. And what I've got is so good, everybody can benefit from it. Trust me, I've been there. You know, when I first ventured out in my current role as the Purpose Prophetess, as a success coach, I was so passionate about making a difference that I just wanted to serve everyone and anyone. Now, as you can imagine, the whole concept of purpose is huge and super broad. So I had to get super clear on who I was called to serve with my unique take on how to identify and clarify and walk in your purpose. You know, I'm a firm believer. If you know anything about me, you know that I'm a firm believer that everyone has a purpose. And I believe that joy, peace, fulfillment, and yes, even money and wealth comes from being in alignment with that purpose. So my niche is everybody, right? Wrong. Here's what I learned the hard way. When you try to speak to everyone, you end up speaking to no one. You see, finding your niche isn't about putting yourself in a box or limiting your impact. It's really about focusing your energy, honing your message, and becoming the go-to expert for a specific group of people with a specific set of needs. Hear me. It's about going an inch wide and a mile deep rather than a mile wide and an inch deep. Let me say that again. It's about going an inch wide and a mile deep rather than a mile wide and an inch deep. What are we talking about? It's the whole concept of quality versus quantity. Let me ask you, do you want to serve a lot of people who get average results and only surface level breakthroughs? Or would you rather serve fewer people but give them excellent results, high level and high quality products and services, and be able to take them on the deep immersion that they need for a truly transformative experience? Listen, the marketplace is littered with business owners who are simply looking at analytics and their bottom line. And trust me, their customers know it. So they often miss out on the valuable repeat business that comes from retaining customers. So how do we find the sweet spot? Right? How do we find the sweet spot from being able to serve the people that we want, for being able to build our customer base, but at the same time respecting our niche? Let me tell you, It starts with self-reflection. I know you guys aren't surprised that that's where I started. Yes, self-reflection. I want you to ask yourself, what are you truly passionate about? Ask yourself, what problems do you love solving? What kind of work makes you lose track of time because you're so engrossed in it? You see, your niche should be something that lights you up. It should be something that you could talk about or do for hours without getting bored. Okay? Next, I want you to look at your skills and your experiences. What unique combination of talents, knowledge, and life experiences do you bring to the table? You see, your niche often lies at the intersection of what you love, what you're good at, and what you've lived through. But here's the key. Your niche isn't just about you. It's also about the market. In other words, who needs what you have to offer? What problems are people actively seeking solutions for? Where's the gap in the market that you are uniquely positioned to fill? So it's not just about your experiences, your passion, your purpose, your desires, but we really do have to get super clear about, is there a market for it? Let me tell you, if I'm super passionate about providing music on 8-track cartridges. And for those of you that are younger than me, you're probably like, what the? Yeah, go look it up. If I'm super passionate about that, my passion, while it may be there, while this may be something that I can talk about for hours and be engrossed in, the issue is there's no market for that necessarily. Now, there may be a small, teeny tiny niche for that, or people who like to collect 8-track tapes. And typically, these people would be looking for music that was already produced and done, right? The nostalgia of it. But if I'm just coming out with a song, I'm coming out with some new music, and I want to put it on an 8-track cassette tape, I may have some difficulty finding people who want that. So that's what I want you to think about. Marrying your niche also with the market. What do I love to do? How can I serve people in a way that I'm uniquely called and positioned to do? But also, how can I ensure that there are people who want what I got? Okay? All right, you guys, we're going to take a 30-second break. Don't go anywhere. Go freshen up your coffee or go get a sip of water and then come right back. Because when we come back, we're going to talk about the practical steps and strategies for identifying your niche, potato, patata. Yeah, that. See you in a bit.
Welcome to a unique brew of perspectives. What's the Tea with Gen XYZ is your one-stop spot for a fresh take on today's burning issues. Representing 3 generations, a Gen X icon, a millennial maverick, and a Gen Z trailblazer stir up conversations ranging from social justice to pop culture. They'll bring the heat, spill the honest truth, and find common ground across the years. Expect humor, candor, and perhaps a dash of healthy debate. Enlightening, insightful, and sure to stir the pot. Stay tuned for a stimulating dialogue that bridges the generation gap, one cup at a time.
Okay, welcome back, soulmates. Welcome back to Stand on Business with Dr. Melissa. Now, before the break, we talked about the importance of finding your niche, and we also started exploring how to identify it, right? But now let's dive deeper into some practical steps that you can take to pinpoint your perfect niche. Now, one powerful exercise is to identify and to create your ideal client avatar. Some people say a client bio. This is so powerful and critical. When you take on this exercise, you're wanting to identify who is the person that you most want to serve. And here, you guys, I want you to get super specific. What is their age? What is their gender? What is their occupation? Okay, demographical. Where do they live? Where do they hang out? Do they go to the Starbucks? Do they hang out at libraries? Like, get some real good demographical information on your ideal client. Now I want you to look at more psychological information. What are their hopes? What are their fears? What are their dreams? What keeps them up at night? We call these the pain points. What are their pain points? You see, the more vividly you can picture this person, the easier it's going to be to craft offerings and services and products and messages that resonate with them. Here's the thing. Don't overcomplicate this. I'm going to give you a real simple way to reframe this that might help, and it helped me. Oftentimes, your client, your niche, the person that you're trying to serve, is your past you. Particularly if your business and what you're offering is based on your lived experiences or challenges that you've had in the past. This person is the old you. Ask yourself, what did you struggle with before you found your solutions? What kept you up at night? What do you wish existed when you were in the same place that your clients are in right now? You see, when you answer those questions, then you can serve them by giving them what you know they need. And how do you know? It's because it's what you needed when you were them. So spend some time thinking about that. You know, oftentimes I'm coaching clients and they really get stuck on this. It's like, what do you mean? What keeps them up at night? What do you mean? What do they really want? And when I take them through this self-exploration of the fact that if you are let's say you're a person that helps people become a public speaker, and you overcame the challenges of fear and lacking confidence to get on stage. When you're coaching that person, you are uniquely familiar with what they're feeling because it's exactly what you had to overcome. And if this is the case, I'm telling you, your services, your offerings to them is so powerful because it is something that you actually worked through. So I know how to get you there because I had to go there. Now, if you ask me for directions to a place I've never gone, I might struggle. But if you ask me how to go someplace that I've gone, that I've been before, no problems. Let me show you how. And so when you're going through this whole creating your client avatar, really take some time to go back to that self-reflection and really serve people what you needed. Go back to what you lacked and what you struggled with, and then serve them in that way. Now, another strategy is to look at your past successes. What kind of clients or projects have you enjoyed working with the most? Where have you gotten the best results? Go back and see those things that I've worked with for you before. Sometimes you can find that in client testimonials Or if you're new to business, talk to family members or friends or people that you've helped in the past. Really drill down and get some insight about the kind of things that you're good at and the kind of things that you enjoy doing. Because here's the thing, oftentimes your niche is hiding in plain sight. It's hiding in the work that you are already doing and loving. Now, I'm getting ready to say the nasty R word. It's also crucial to do market research. Yes, research. I want you to look at what's already out there in your area of interest. What are people asking for in forums and social media groups? Scour those places and see what kind of questions come up. Read the comments, that sort of thing. Look for what problems come up again and again. You see what I'm saying? Because listen, your niche should be specific enough to stand out, but broad enough to have a viable market. So you've heard me say, be specific on your niche, and I'll talk about that a lot, about really, really getting specific and clear. But you don't want your niche to be so specific that you don't have a viable market. Okay, so if I'm trying to serve women who have been divorced that are experiencing a transition in their employment and wanting to step into their purpose and passion and start their own business, that's my niche, right? But if I take those same specific qualities, a woman who's experiencing divorce, who wants to tap into a purpose, to start her own business with red hair and green eyeshadow, who has freckles on one side of her face, right? I've limited myself. So make sure your niche is specific, but also broad enough to have a viable market. Now, here's the thing. Don't be afraid to test and refine your niche. Start out by putting out content and offers targeted to your chosen niche and see how people respond. If you're on social media, put out posts and polls and ask questions, get some engagement about your particular offering or services and see what kind of responses you get. And then pay attention to what resonates. Pay attention to what falls flat and be willing to adjust based on the feedback you receive. Now, I said that I slowed down when I said that because oftentimes we are so married to our particular offerings. It's our babies. And so we are so committed to it. But what I am suggesting to you is that once you do a bit of research, you may find that this thing that's your baby may need a little bit of tweaking, may need to be reiterated because other people, it's just not resonating with them the way it resonates with you. So please be willing to come back and to readjust and be flexible enough to make some adjustments as needed. I want you to remember that finding your niche is not a one-time deal. It's a process. It's an evolving process, because as you grow and as the market change, your niche may shift and refine. So you got to stay open. You got to stay curious, and you have to keep listening to both your inner wisdom and voice and your audience or clients' needs. Okay, so now it is time, my favorite, it is time for our live Q&A segment, where I get to connect with you directly and answer your burning questions about finding your niche. I threw this question out to my community, and we're going to take a few questions and answer them now. Our first question comes from Samantha. So Samantha writes, I'm passionate about several different ideas. Anybody else? How do I choose just one niche without feeling like I'm abandoning my other interests? Such a common concern for what I call multi-passionate entrepreneurs, Sam. This is very common. Here's the good news. You don't have to completely abandon your other interests when you choose a niche. Instead, I want you to think about how you can integrate your various passions in a unique way. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're passionate about mindfulness. You're passionate about nutrition, and you're passionate about supporting working moms. So your niche could be mindful eating strategies for busy professional women. You see, in that way, you were able to combine your three passions into a specific targeted offering. So this thing that you're offering addresses and speaks to all three of those passions. Okay? Here's the thing. I want you to remember that your niche is not a prison. It's a focus. It's a focus. It doesn't mean that you never talk about or explore other topics. It just means you have a clear, specific audience and a problem that you are known for solving. Okay? And often, as you deep dive into your niche, you're going to find other organic ways to incorporate your other passions. But I just want you to become the go-to. That's the whole thing about niching down. People know you for this thing. Okay? So it's not a prison. Another way to answer your question, Sam, is also start by choosing the intersection of your passions. Look at those things that feel most energizing, but also that has the clearest market need, okay? You can always expand or pivot later as your business grows, all right? I hope that answered your question. It's a very common issue, but I want to be purposely redundant. Your niche is not a prison. I'm not suggesting that you abandon all of the other things and you just focus on this one thing. That's not what it's about. It's really about honing in on your specific superpower and speaking to your audience from that standpoint so that you become the go-to. Okay? An inch wide and a mile deep instead of a mile wide and an inch deep. Okay? All right, let's go to our next question, and that comes from Alex. Alex asks, I've identified a niche that I'm excited about, but it seems like there's already a lot of competition. Should I look for something else? No! Alex, I'm so glad you asked this because it's a fear and it's a concern that holds back so many entrepreneurs. Here's the truth. Competition in your niche is actually a good sign. It means that there's a proven market need for what you have to offer. So, yay, that's good. Here's the key. I don't want you to avoid competition, but I want you to focus on differentiating yourself within your niche. Okay? What unique perspective, what unique experience or approach do you bring to that niche? There may be a ton of people, but what do you do with specificity? What do you do that's different? How can you serve this niche in a way that no one else can, right? Because here's the thing. Remember, no one else has your unique combination of skills, experiences, and your personality. So even in a crowded market, there's room for your authentic voice and your authentic approach. Okay? And I'll say it again. Don't underestimate the power of niching down even further. So if you feel like your chosen niche is too crowded, I want you to ask yourself, can you focus on a specific sub-niche? Let me give you an example. Instead of, let's say your niche is health coaching for women, which is pretty good. That's a pretty good niche. You could niche down to fertility nutrition for women over 35. So you see, the more specific you get, the easier it is to stand out and to become, as I was saying to Sam in the last question, to become the go-to expert. Whew! Hope that helped, Alex. Wow, you guys, what an illuminating exploration journey we took on niches today. Now, as we wrap up this episode, I want to leave you with this. Your niche is not about limitation. It's your launch pad. It's the foundation from which you can grow your impact, grow your audience, and grow your business. So don't get afraid to get specific. Don't be afraid to polarize. Here is a phrase that a lot of people in business have heard. The riches are in the niches, soulmates. The riches are in the niches. Because when you speak directly to a specific audience about a specific problem, your message becomes magnetic. You become the obvious choice for those that you are meant to serve. Okay? Also, I want you to remember that choosing a niche doesn't mean you're stuck there forever. As you grow and as you evolve, your niche can grow and evolve too. As a matter of fact, they should be. The important thing is to start somewhere. Okay? I want you to plant your flag and start serving your people with everything that you have from your own superpower. Okay? So, a little bit of homework. I want you to take some time this week to really explore your niche. I want you to get clear on who you want to serve and what specific problem you solve for them. And then I want you to start showing up for that audience and those clients consistently and authentically, because your perfect niche is waiting for you to serve them. So, soulmates, I want to thank you so much for tuning in to Standing on Business with Dr. Melissa. I hope today's discussion has ignited a fire within you, a fire that will cause you to embrace your authenticity, prioritize your growth, and infuse your business with your purpose. As always, if you want more information about me, and if you're ready to take your business to the next level and align it with your purpose, I want to invite you to join our free community, the My Soul Purpose community. There, you'll have the opportunity to connect with like-minded entrepreneurs, gain clarity on your purpose, and develop a roadmap for aligning your business with your authentic self. The community is absolutely free. So, to learn more and to secure your spot in the community, you can join us at community.purposeprophetess.com. I can't wait to support and serve you there. So, soulmates, join me next week as we dive deeper into the strategies and mindset shifts needed to build a purpose-driven business. I want you to remember that you are purposeful and you are powerful. I believe in you, and I cannot wait to see the incredible things that you are going to achieve. So until next time, my soulmates, keep standing up, keep standing out, and keep standing on business. Bye for now.